Hey, today let's talk about the Double Diamond Framework. The Double Diamond Framework is a model to implement design thinking into your projects, into your software development projects. It's usually tailored towards complex projects where you want to make sure that you have an innovative way of thinking and that you are actually then aligning into what is going to be the scope of your project. So if promotes some kind of a divergence and convergence ways of working. And is also a framework that is known to be very user-centric. So the double diamond refers to the two stages or two main stages that the framework proposes. One that is focused on understanding and defining clearly the problem, and the second which is focused on understanding and defining clearly the solution. So think about the problem space, solution space. And in order to do this, it divides each of these diamonds in two stages, one that is divergent and one that is convergent. The idea with this divergence is that you want to promote brainstorming, you want to promote exploring, researching. And with the convergence, what you want to do is out of all the ideas that you get, you want to narrow them down and scope them down. The first phase will be discover. When you are discovering in the problem diamond, you want to understand really what the problem is. You want to go through all the different problems that you perceive, the different causes, pains that are causing to your customers, and you want to even understand what are the customer personas that are being affected, user personas. What are the industries they are in, especially if you are talking about B2B? What are the geographies that they potentially could be in? And then you want to narrow it down. You first have gone through your big list, and then you want to then start focusing. Which ones are those user groups that I'm going to look into? Which ones are the ones that are really going to concentrate to solve their problem? Because you probably don't want to try to solve a problem for everybody because it might be too general. You want to narrow it down, you want to focus. And that's what you want to do in the define phase. So here you will synthesize and scope down all these ideas that you have come up with, the different problems, different personas, and actually narrow it down to the people that you think is going to be your target. The problem that they have, also narrow it down, define which ones are the problems, the causes that you are going to be targeting, and which ones are the personas that are going to be affected by it. When it comes to the solution diamond, you are going to go through the same process. You are going to have a process first that you are going to innovate, you want to brainstorm, and then a second phase where you want to again converge and define what is the scope of that solution that you're going to build. These two stages are going to be the develop and the deliver. In the develop, what you want to do is that you want to brainstorm about different potential solutions. This can apply, by the way, not to just software development. It can apply to how you are going to market this to your customers. It might be that you want to try new ways of doing it. This is really great when you want to explore different ways of doing things and you are in those projects that maybe get out of the more typical projects. And here you want to brainstorm, you want to ideate, come with even crazy ideas. And then you want to be able to test those. Test and validate, because this is going to help you understand if what you are coming or the ideas that you are coming with for those solutions, are they good or not? And then you want to go into the deliver phase. Here, you want to narrow down the scope. Based on the test, based on the problem that you have defined, based on all these assumptions, you want to narrow it down when you start to validate with customers. What is the scope of what you are doing? You have many ways of doing this. There are many types of MVPs that you could define. Go check out this video if you want to know more, because there are certain MVPs that are going to help you test and validate your assumptions. Not just about testing the product, but also the assumptions. It can be done through mockups, interviews, surveys, so on. Check it out, might be interesting for you. And once you start to scope it down and trim down what solution you are going to be building, then you can define what is your MVP and how you're going to be building this one together with the team, the implementation phase, execution, and all the way to the delivery to the customers. And why is this the deliver phase? Well, you can consider that the delivery and the implementation and the development goes through all these stages. You are not just planning, you can be implementing, testing, and validating which ones are the assumptions that work and then you are discarding the ones that you think don't work. You might be incrementally adding new features, new capabilities to the product, or new marketing materials, let's call it. As you go testing, you can see which efforts are working better, which ones are not working that well, and you can narrow down. And what the second diamond is saying that is that your development process, your delivery process should be also to a certain degree exploratory process and not just a planning and then implementation as a separate or completely separate stages. So what are the pros of the double diamond framework? Well, it is a very user-centric framework because you want to test and validate with your customers continuously. It also encourages innovation and exploratory thinking. So it helps you brainstorm, it helps you come up with new ideas, new ways of working that you probably wouldn't have done otherwise. And finally, it promotes ownership of the process because people are driving it, and of course they're validating and they're making sure that what they're building is something that is going to fill the user needs. The cons for this framework is that, first of all, as you can imagine, it's going to be probably quite resource intensive. It's going to require quite many people working and thinking quite hard about how to build this and being or having a more innovative way of thinking. Some people will think that is a pro. Some people will think that this is a con because it requires quite much time and potentially it's going to take longer to get to that solution. The next one is that it requires a really good facilitator, somebody that understands really well how to do workshops, brainstorming, and so on. So you can think about somebody like either a Scrum Master or a pro operations person could help you a lot building or bringing this kind of framework into your company, especially if your people are not used to work in such a way. And finally, this is not useful for all the problems. Many problems that potentially don't require a lot of investigation or a lot of research probably is going to be an overkill to do a process like this. If you understand really well what you need to do, if you understand really well what are the requirements and why you should do them and who are the target personas, probably you might be wasting a bit your time if you are doing something like a double diamond. So what are the best use cases for the double diamond? When you want to solve complex problems, when you want to be really user-centric and deliver solutions that really focus on tackling the problems that your customers have, and when you want to find innovative ways of working, when you want to be different to what your typical process is, this is a very good framework to promote that innovation. As I say in the beginning, the double diamond framework is a way of implementing design thinking into your ways of working. If you don't know what design thinking is, go check out this video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next one, and remember, stay safe.